Hi! So last time, I made a video showcasing how I utilize Sparky Hands in my TEMPEST Cleric Open Mount multi-class, and it became my most watched video to date. If you haven't seen it yet, I'd be grateful if you check it out. It's all about how my punches could send enemies flying thanks to lightning charges, affecting all my attacks, even my spirit guardians knocking foes back. So in this video, I'm going to build something similar, focusing on harnessing those lightning charges to amplify all my attacks. But before we jump into the build, let's talk about the main gimmick of this build. It is all about embodying the essence of a warrior, a god whose story, myths, and power are intricately tied to lightning and thunder. That god is none other than Thor, the mighty figure from Norse mythology. Do you enjoy throwing weapons in Baldur's Gate 3? Do you admire Thor, who hurls Mjolnir straight into his enemy's face? Or perhaps just crushes foes with a mighty hammer? Maybe you'd even like to summon a lightning aura that electrifies enemies and repels them, keeping them at bay so they never get close enough to touch you? Have you ever wondered how to play as Thor in BG3? With a build that is not only logical but thematically perfect for Thor, and more importantly, powerful and very fun to play? Welcome, and let's get to the multi-classing. The first class that I would be taking is Fighter up until level 6. As a martial and melee based build, well, partially, we need extra attack, naturally, plus an extra feat, which is always handy. As for the fighting style, I'll be taking 2-weapon fighting. Wait a minute, you might be thinking, Thor doesn't use 2 Mjolnirs. And you're right, you don't have to. But since we'll be holding one versatile weapon with dueling fighting style, we don't have much of a use for our bonus action, so might as well use it to attack. If that doesn't suit your playstyle, taking dueling for extra damage boost is still a solid choice. But what's more important than that, we will get Eldritch Knight subclass to get weapon bond. So whenever we throw our weapon, it will return to be equipped. This is what truly captures Thor's iconic boomerang effect with Mjolnir, allowing us to replicate that throw and return mechanic. Plus, the subclass grants us spell slot progression, which is essential for spellcasting. We also need to start as fighter to get the con save proficiency, since we will cast a spell heavily relies on concentration, which is level 6 Tempest Domain Cleric to get Spirit Guardians and its passive feature Thunderous Strike. Making Thor a cleric might make sense because he's deeply connected to the religion and deities of Norse mythology. We are here for Spirit Guardians instead of Call Lightning because it allows continuous radiant damage within radius. This will not compromise our hammer throwing actions. Thanks to level 6 cleric passive feature Thunderous Strike, which makes all our lightning damage have knockback effects from all sources of attacks. It is pretty damn good to make enemies spend more of their movement, plus Spirit Guardians slow enemies down, so our enemies might not always reach us if we are in luck. Additionally, you might want to grab Sanctuary for protection and create water, since all our attacks are lightning based, so if the enemies are drenched, we get to deal extra damage. The items that get the primary pick is Sparky Hands, of course. Every time we throw our Mjolnir, we get lightning charges. I also love to utilize Radiating Orb to make enemies easily miss their attacks on me, and whenever they miss, they also get radiant damage from the helmet. Also, they are not away and they have to spend their movement to make another attack, which is pretty awesome. Next, the primary weapon Charge Bound War Hammer, because when you bind it, it'll get an extra lightning damage. Assuming you go my route on 2-weapon fighting, I use Dwarven Thrower to throw an offhand attack with my Charge Bound Hammer. A short King Thor, I'll get to that later. If you grab Create Water spell, you might wanna use Spark Swirl Ring so you won't get lightning damage while standing on electrified water. I also be using my best heavy armor for defense, and it'll align closely to what feat that I'll be taking. So first of all, the bread and butter feat for our mechanic is Tavern Brawler and raise our strength +1. Not just the damage, but also to hit. We only get lightning charges whenever our throw hits. Next, I'll be taking Dual Wielder to effectively make offhand attacks. but you can choose 4 caster instead to maintain your spirit guardians. Since we're level 6 fighter and get an extra feat, I'll be taking heavy armor master, increasing our durability since we are on the front line and an easy target for the enemies, and it also increases our strength +1. Overall, we'll get 18 strength now, which I'll be talking about character customization next. We will be multiple ability score independent, set however you want, but taking 16 strength is important. We increase it to 18 after taking feats. I suggest we take potion of everlasting figure to get to 20. As for the race, I'm going with dwarf. Wait, what? A short King Thor? This ain't Wolverine? Yeah, I know, but don't worry, you don't have to be a dwarf. You're probably thinking I'm insane for making Thor a dwarf, but not only is it the race that physically closest to Santa Monica Studios' Thor, but we also get the best throwing hammer in the game. Perhaps Duergar to get enlarged spell, so you won't get to be called Short King. Otherwise, I'd say pick your favorite, ideally one of the tall male races, since Thor always pictured as a tall, big guy. There is no ASMR or celestial race here, unlike in D&D. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into crafting the ultimate Thor build in Baldur's Gate 3, designed to unleash pure havoc on the battlefield. This journey has been an absolute blast, and I'm considering diving even deeper into this mechanic in the future. I hope this video worth your while. I hope I was thorough enough in breaking down the build for you. It can remind you of features that you have seen before but never get the chance to create something fun from it, or you discover a new way to flavor your next playthrough and intrigues you to do something fun. Either way, thank you so much.